Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and today I'm going to be discussing episodes 6 and 7 of Psycho-Pass. Some really interesting stuff unfolding in this episode as the story plods along, especially to do with main character Shinya Kagami. We're essentially seeing some backstory with him as far as what downgraded him from once being an inspector like Akane is to now being an enforcer. And a lot of that has to do with this old case that was never solved called the specimen case. Now, this all relates to the fact that he found his partner's body dismembered, and essentially, they had put resin all inside it and everything, and sort of grotesquely and artistically posed it in a very just unnerving way. And this basically shaped who Kogami became. His psychopaths just went through the roof. The original suspect of this crime disappeared, so there was never any real lead. There was never any real answers, and thus Shinya has been living out his life as an enforcer now, always with that in mind, trying to hunt down who the mastermind behind this is. Now, this all seems to coincide with some more recent investigations going on, like, for example, one in the previous episode where we had the guy killing bullies at his business with robots and such, because it looks like the people who are actually carrying out these crimes are not the ones necessarily behind it, or at least they have help. Somebody is guiding them and, in a sense, using them. And it's very intriguing because it seems to be that the big inspiration behind all of this is society's failings. This is a world where basically people have given up the right to choose their own path in life, what would make them happy. Essentially, it's all mechanized now. There are machines and computers that can tell you statistically, based on where you grew up, how you're living your life, what you're destined for that would make you the happiest and most content in life. People don't really exert their own mind capacities anymore. And it seems like there are people who have rebounded off of this in a criminalistic way. You have people who are trying to make the statement, this kind of life is wrong. We're in a mechanized sort of civilization, and it's killing us. It's said that the life expectancy has been severely diminished, but it's kept under wraps because, of course, the governments of the world, the machines of the world that are controlling everyone wouldn't want people to know that, would they? They wouldn't want people to question it. It's almost a sick sort of mechanized fascism. And where it gets even more intriguing and disturbing is the fact that these crimes, these artistic dismemberment crimes, are all happening again, and they don't know if this is a copycat murder or if it's actually the resurfacing of the original mastermind. Now, it all coincides with this academy where these schoolgirls are going missing, and subsequently they're finding their bodies dismembered and posed in new artistic forms. And this is the same academy that the original suspect in the specimen murder case originated. And so it all seems to be localized around the same sort of circle, although in this case, whereas Akane and Shinya, they are unaware of who's behind it, we the viewer are given full-on access as to who is behind this, who is masterminding this, and who is actually committing these terrible crimes. Now, there is a girl in this academy who is like the tallest, most pretty girl, she has the best grades and that kind of thing, but she seems almost robotic in her presence. Her name is Rikako Oryo, and her father was an artist. We're led to believe that he is the one who inspired these crimes in her because, of course, he would paint such things. And whereas his daughter is bringing them forth in a physical manner, she's actually killing people and using their bodies in the same manner as the specimen case from ages ago. And she's doing it in a sickly homage to her father, who essentially, because of, as I discussed earlier, society's failings, he had died. He had suffered a brain death of sorts and essentially had been kept in this just sickly serenity, if you will. He was just blank, there was no life signs, and eventually his heart gave out. And this seems to be what prompted this girl, Oreo, to carry out sort of this extension of her father's work. She's bringing it into a physical manifestation, using real bodies of innocent girls, which is just horrifying. Now, it goes without saying that we have seen the mastermind behind this. This is something that is being speculated by Akane and Kagami and the other investigators and enforcers, that there must be a mastermind behind all of this, and it's Makishima. It's this guy that goes back to that flash forward at the very beginning of the show where we saw Kagami facing off with him, and it just totally gets my excitement up because it's almost as if, to Kagami's Sherlock Holmes, this is Moriarty. This is the nemesis, This is the vicious to Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. And I just can't wait to see the confrontation that's going to unfold. Of course, Kagami's bringing into this the death of his partner and all of these unsolved crimes that seem to have somebody masterminding behind it. And we have those answers basically described to us in Makishima's own words, that it is society's failings. It is the fact that everybody has become complacent and basically takes direction without any question. They're lemmings. This is a society of lemmings. And it's just horrifying when you think about that, when you don't ask any more questions, when you don't investigate, when you don't push the boundaries of your own limitations. You're setting yourself up for failure, and I have to agree to a degree with Makishima's sort of mentality on this. Of course, I disagree wholeheartedly with the way he's making his point, committing these crimes or setting up these other people who are so easily led to commit these crimes. I don't agree with that side of it, but I do agree with that stagnation, that not wanting to see society stagnate and become nothing. But essentially, this is all very intriguing, and of course we're left with this just masterstroke cliffhanger of this girl going to find out about her friend who's been missing for the last week, the last victim, which is still sitting in that solution in this hidden room off on the academy campus, and of course Oreo brings this girl tied up to this place and decides she's going to make her next masterpiece out of this living girl who could be saved and the dead one. So it's just incredible. Are they going to find them in time, or is the next episode going to debut with a new artistic piece of 2 dead girls instead of 1? It's just so many things going on, and I'm loving this series. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you're enjoying Psycho Pass, tell me all about it. And otherwise, that's going to be it for me on this one. So I'll catch you all later. Peace.